What's up, everybody, and welcome to the SP and Bushy Show. I'm SP Bushy. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good, man. It's been really hot here in Colorado. Basically we've gone from extreme cold to extreme heat so far. This I guess this year so far. So yeah, there really has been no in between right now, and it's really kind of crazy.
It is, and it's actually a good way to sum up the Colorado sports teams, too. It's either really hot or really cold. And unfortunately, last week was the really cold. And it was like the worst week of sports, it felt like, in a long time for Colorado. Obviously, having high hopes for the Avalanche and Nuggets, and then seeing them both get eliminated.
Yes, it was definitely probably the worst week ever, I think, as far as with like Colorado sports, really. I mean, and the Rockies had a really bad road trip as well, and then yeah, with the Avs losing a really critical game 5 too, in which they really outplayed Vegas for most of the game, and then really it was a case of they lost it, and not and not Vegas winning it, and then yeah, Vegas taking care of it in Game 6 as well, and then yeah, the Nuggets really just getting swept out of the floor and really didn't compete a lot as well. I mean, really, except for probably Game 1 and then probably some of Game 4 as well. I mean, they got swept out, man. That was probably the worst week ever, I think, as far as with Colorado sports.
It was awful. I mean, obviously, like I said, it was very disenchanting. Thankfully, I was able to join you at a Rockies game. This is one of the few weeks where we've actually been able to see each other in person since the show started. And it was good to come up, go to a Rockies game, actually be there for a live sporting event for the first time in a long time, and actually remind myself why I love sports in the first place, because it was a low point last week for sure. So thanks for giving me that high point this week when we came up and got to see the Rockies beat the Padres in their first of their 3-game sweep of San Diego.
Exactly. Yeah, it was actually a very kind of impressive sweep, because it really, I mean, it felt like all three games were really different in that way. With the Rockies winning a very close 3-2 game on Monday, in which it was a very in which. Yeah, I mean, it was a very quick game. I kind of enjoyed that, and then on Tuesday night we had they were down early, and then they basically held Padres scoreless, and then they scored on 8 runs, and then winning today in walk-off fashion, really in a back and forth game as well. So that was a very impressive sweep that the Rockies did against the Padres.
It did. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, we were there, like I said, on Monday night. Austin Gomber pitching great. And it was one of your colleagues that mentioned the stat of him being the third best pitcher in the NL, ERA wise, over the last month and a half or so.
Yes, he's had the best ERA as far as the past month and a half, and yeah, you've talked about it yourself while we were talking. You got to kind of eat your words right now, because he was the main component of the Nolan Arenado trade right now, and so far he really, to be honest, he actually has been the Rockies' best pitcher this year, and it really has not been close. He really has been the Rockies' best pitcher.
He certainly has. I mean, credit to whichever one of your colleagues gave you that stat. I didn't catch their name.
Sydney.
All right. Well,
hi, Sydney.
Yeah. Well, we got to give her credit. Obviously, that was her Sydney stat, not mine. But he's been fantastic. Like I said, he's got the Volbeat walkout song, which I appreciate too as a hard rock fan. So obviously, I'm starting to warm up to Austin Gomber, but I don't have to eat my words quite yet on the trade. And the reason being that they still paid the $50 million. I think if it hadn't been for the $50 million, that's the part that's hanging me up on the trade. You're going to trade great players for prospects. That happens. It's the $50 million that's hanging me up.
I think that's probably what most fans. But hey, I mean, looking at the standings right now, they're in fourth right now in the Central Division right now, behind Cincinnati, who's played really well. And then you have Milwaukee and Chicago going up, and Milwaukee just got swept by Cincinnati, and then they're coming in for a 4-game sweep for a 4-game series against a hot Colorado team as well. So who knows? I mean, Milwaukee could be fourth by the time next week as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a really tight race in that Central Division, and I can't wait to see it go down to the wire between those 4 teams. We were talking about it a little bit before we came on the air. It's a very tight race, especially in the NL for all those wild card spots, because even you have 4 teams in the Central, you have 3 teams in the West with the Giants, Dodgers, and Padres. And I mean, the East right now seems like the Mets are running away with it, but obviously you have the Braves that were such a good team last year. And the Nationals, who are a team that's won 4 straight, you can't quite count them out either. So I mean, like I said, it's gonna be a real tight race this year.
No, it really looks like the Central and the East is probably going to be really stacked right now as far as with the NL. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about it. I mean, there's 4, 7, and probably at least 2 for the East. So, we're looking at 9 teams though for 2 wild card spots. So this actually may be a very, very exciting wild card stretch heading down to September as well. I'm very anxious about that. The fact that we probably have a lot of teams competing for that wild card spot. So that would actually make September baseball just a little bit more exciting to watch if you have a lot of teams competing for those 2 wild card spots.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be very exciting down the stretch, as we talked about. Let's go back. I want to talk a little bit more about the Avalanche losing 4 straight games. I mean, obviously, we've praised Joe Sakic a lot on this show. What does he need to do to get this team to that next level of finally closing it out and ending this 20-year drought of no Stanley Cup?
Not trading for Patrick Nemeth anymore. I mean, that's probably rule number 1. I never understood that trade when they did trade him for him. I never liked him when he was with the Avalanche. Then they brought him back, and they're seeing that he really was not a very good player. And it's just I know we needed bodies I know the Avs needed bodies for defensemen or something, but I feel like they could have gotten somebody better other than Patrick Nemeth. And there was a reason why he was on Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you talk about Nemeth, but he was not the only one. It felt like the Avalanche definitely needs some help along the blue line defensively, because that's where they got beat. Was really the defense was not good in this series, especially those last 4 games. You talk about the Game 5 winner. It was because a shot was blocked and the defense got caught flat-footed that allowed for a breakaway goal. And I mean, the Avalanche, like I said, they need some help. They need that really good second line, blue line, if they're going to take that next step, in my opinion.
Well, the problem is that they actually do have good players. It's just they were injured and all that. I mean, it really is just like the case of just trying to stay healthy as well. And with Bo Byram and Eric Johnson, I mean, I think those 2 guys probably could have made the difference of that series as well. If those guys were actually on the ice, healthy and playing well, I think those guys really could have made the difference of that series as well. And they really did not a lot of line help as well. I mean, they really kind of shut down the McKinnon, Landeskog Rantanen line. And really, I mean, not a lot of people really stepped up in that second line, or as far as who's going to be that second goal scorer.
I think they also needed Kadri, who I think, once again, the 8-game suspension was a little bit much. And I think if they had that bruiser like Kadri, then maybe some of those Golden Knights players would have a little bit more apprehension about, how they were skating out there.
Yeah, exactly. That could have been a helpful thing as well with his suspension. It was, I mean, he deserved his suspension, but definitely not 8 games, maybe like 5 or 6 or something like that. But yeah, I mean, player safety is the NHL player safety just really, I mean, it's a throw up. I mean, really, I mean, when you have a former enforcer as the head of player safety, you're doing something wrong.
Right, exactly. It was kind of weird, like I said, the 8-game suspension. And it really, like I said, it's felt like the middle finger to Colorado sports all week. I mean, unless there's more Avalanche stuff you want to talk about, let's get into talking about the Nuggets and the worst ejection I've ever seen, maybe in pro sports. This is ridiculous. The ejection of Nikola Jokic in that game, in Game 4.
Yeah, I was not watching the game because I was working, but I saw the clip of the foul that got him ejected, and oh my God, trust me, there were fouls that were probably 10 times worse that somehow was not an ejection, but somehow this one got an ejection. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is really like, what in the world is the NBA thinking on that call? Like, really, I mean, seriously, we've talked about how so much the NBA has gotten softer as the years have gone on, and this just proves that they're getting soft.
It proves that they're getting soft, and it also proves my point last week that is rigged. After the Suns beat the Lakers, the NBA wanted to make the Suns look like this juggernaut. The Suns are such an impressive team. They beat the Lakers in 6, so they needed the Suns to come out and look really good against the Nuggets. That's why in Game 1, the Suns have a 20-6 free throw discrepancy. compared to the Nuggets in game one. And then on top of that, you eject the MVP of the league in a win or go home game for that. How is he hitting him in the face to make it a flagrant 2 when he gets 90% ball on that and basically knocks the ball into the third row of ball arena? It's BS. Like I said, I've played basketball. I've gotten whacked in the face unintentionally or maybe intentionally. I don't know. But like I said, I was at least bleeding from the nose, and I still, like, once again, dealt with it, came back in. But like I said, it's one of those things, like you said, the league's getting soft. He barely grazes his nose, and the guy's acting like he's playing professional soccer, laying there like a wimp for 10 minutes, acting like he got hit so hard. Get out of here. He hit the ball. And for you to eject the MVP of the league, this is the most valuable player in your league. It's time to start treating him like that. It's time for the Joker to start getting that next level star treatment. It's BS that he doesn't. It's BS that, like I said, he gets ejected from a win or go home game because it made me shut off the game at this point. Like I said, why am I watching the NBA instead of pro wrestling when at least pro wrestling, I understand that it's rigged, and I'm just watching for the storyline at that point. By the way, I would much rather watch NXT on Tuesday nights on USA over any NBA game. They're all rigged, so you might as well watch the better show, which is NXT on Tuesday nights on USA.
Right, folks. Yeah, watch the better rigged show. Okay,
Yeah.
they're both rigged
Watch
shows.
The show,
yeah, watch
rigged.
the show that it's gonna rigged. It really was a terrible call. I still don't understand it why they ejected him. I mean, yeah, at least give him like a flagrant 1. Okay, yeah. I mean, he was frustrated with the foul and all that, but yeah, I mean, it was just it was a win or go home, and you eject the most valuable player in the league. And I don't know why the NBA is not really popularizing Jokic, because he really is like a fan favorite. He's a goofy Serbian, and he's goofy. He's a Serbian. He talks about being a team player. This is something you want to probably promote rather than this me generation, which I feel like they're trying to promote this me generation with this player, this player empowerment. And here's this guy doing the complete opposite. Maybe you want to strive to that. Maybe you want to strive this team game where the guy cares about the team more than his individual stats, where it feels like, seriously, every time Jokic is interviewed, he's like, oh yeah, it's like I got a triple double, and it's just like, but it's like, yeah, but but my team won. I feel like I could contribute more to the team. And it was great too when they lost. They showed it on the jumbotron at the Ball Arena. Like he was at the locker room, the start of the locker room, high-fiving all the players too. I don't know why the NBA is not promoting this and be like, oh yeah, this is a team game, because really it is a team game. There are 5 people on the court rather than just 1.
Exactly. And I mean, I hear about, obviously, all this time about Luka Doncic, and that's like what Jokic should be. Jokic should be like this global superstar like Doncic is, or like some of these other European stars. But for whatever reason, the league just doesn't see him that way. And so he doesn't get talked about like that. It doesn't feel like.
If he played for the Lakers, he probably would
absolutely.
be promoted. Yeah, he just lives in Denver, Colorado, which NBA just does not care about. I don't know why. Really, I mean, this is an untapped market right here for the NBA, folks. I mean, as far as the 4 major sports, basketball is the least popular here, folks. It's an understatement. It really is true. People do not a lot of people care about basketball here.
And I mean, I feel like the number's growing, but like we've said before, we didn't grow up liking the NBA because the Nuggets were never relevant. So once again, now that you actually have a chance to grow it in this market and get more people behind it, it feels like they're not trying to. And once again, I'm going to go back to this call. If it's LeBron, if it's Giannis, if it's whatever superstar you want to name from the league,
James
any
Harden,
other
Kevin
player
Durant,
does that. They're not even calling a foul on LeBron on that.
Or they're just calling it just a normal foul. Like that's all they're doing. Yeah. At worst, they're
definitely not
reviewing it. Yeah, they're definitely not reviewing it. I mean, seriously, it was terrible. I don't know what the NBA's understanding with this. Really, I mean, it's just a terrible black eye to the sport, and it really, you could tell too. A lot of NBA diehards disagreed with this call, so really they're kind of turned off on the NBA because of this. You effed up if a lot of NBA diehard people like Stephen A. Smith are calling this is a bogus call. This is a bogus call.
Right. Even a lot of the players said that this is a bogus call.
Yeah, if a lot of the players and Stephen A. Smith and a lot of the, these basketball diehard media people talk about that, like that was a terrible call. You messed up.
I know. I've seen better officiating in an Eddie Guerrero match.
Yeah, I would, trust me. Nick Patrick could have done a better officiating job than what they had. Really,
He sure could have.
it's a joke for 90s WCW people.
If you get it, you get it. But in any event, I'm not arguing, by the way, that the Nuggets would have won this series. They would not have. The Suns.
No, they would not have.
Especially with Jamal Murray being out. The Suns were a much better team. But that's why they didn't need the extra help, because the Nuggets didn't need to go 5-on-8 when they're already missing their second best player. So, like I said, I think that, had the officials not hosed them, the Nuggets could have potentially won game 4 and at least made it an interesting game 5.
Right. Yeah. And I've always felt about this. I felt about after what we talked about, the 2013 playoffs, I felt that the Denver Nuggets will never win an NBA championship in my lifetime. I've learned to accept it. They probably will not. I believe the Rockies will win a championship before the Nuggets.
Ooh, that's a bold assertion. I like that.
It is a bold assertion, folks. Yes, I believe the Rockies will win a World Series before the Nuggets win an NBA championship.
Ooh.
I know. Yeah. Hey, sometimes I'm throwing high heat, folks. I'm throwing the high heat take.
That is interesting. I like that. I want to see if that does end up coming to pass. That's very interesting, because obviously the Nuggets are the better positioned team, it would appear right now, especially whenever Murray comes back. That being said, it is an interesting take. I'm very interested to see if that comes to pass. I don't even know if I'm bold enough to bet you on that, because I don't believe in the Nuggets that much either.
We've never been to the NBA finals at all. We went to the ABA finals when we were in the ABA. Well, we have never been to the NBA finals, ever. And we've been around in the NBA for over 40 years now. We have never been to the NBA finals. Never
Once.
Especially, and we're the second long, and the Nuggets are the second longest Denver tenure franchise.
True.
They've never been to the NBA finals.
Not once.
I got history to back me up on this one.
You sure do.
At least the Rockies have been to the World Series.
They do, and I mean the Rockies. That's good. It is interesting. Other than the Rockies have yet to win a division, so it's also an interesting point to recall too. So I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. I said.
Oh, I still will back
for the Rockies, but
I still will back that statement. Yes, I will. I will back that statement.
In any event,
I can't wait. I can't to be right in 2032 or something like that.
Right. It's definitely a long game bet here.
Yeah, I'm betting the long game on this one.
Right. It's gonna be like this. This bet could be decided when Little SP and Little Bushy have their own sports talk podcast, as opposed to that could be how long we're waiting to decide this one.
We could be, yes, and I will come on that podcast and be like, yo, I was right. I said it on June 16, 2021 that the Rockies would win an NBA championship before the Nuggets. That's a bold
statement too. If the Rockies win an NBA championship before the Nuggets.
Oh yeah, the Rockies. Yeah, the Nuggets and Rockies will switch nicknames. Yeah.
In any event,
the Denver Rockies. Yeah, the Denver Rockies NBA franchise.
In any event, obviously that is a bold point. Now that the Nuggets are eliminated and we're eliminated in such a rough fashion, I think it's going to be time to go back to watching Jean Claude Van Damme movies as opposed to the NBA playoffs. So I think we've talked, I'm sure that the NBA though is going to try and rig it for it to be the Clippers against the Suns next round as well.
It could be, or they may like Utah with the new owner syndrome, so so that could be the case as well. I just always feel like with the NBA, they always have a room for like one or two small market teams to actually make it, and the Bucks have been good for a few years now. So there's that other team fighting for that slot, and so far it's been Utah so far.
Yeah,
and San Antonio always had like an iron grip on that as well.
It's true. You also got to look at it too. I gotta say the thing today. I mean, they said that Chris Paul's out with COVID potentially. Kawhi Leonard's got some sort of wuss injury too that he's complaining about, and so the King wuss LeBron James went on Twitter to complain that he said that this would happen with the NBA playing so many games in such a short span. And once again, we've talked about it. The league is soft. LeBron is the key leader in this soft movement. He's a wimp.
And it's like Kawhi Leonard, who's like the most rested player in the whole league too. I mean, it's not like it's not like Joker, where Joker played every game. Like, I would understand if Joker had a knee problem, yeah, because he played every game. But no, Kawhi usually takes 2-3 games apart as well. And then the same goes for Chris Paul. Like, he had an injury as well, and he kind of took a break here or there as well. So I mean, it's just crazy that I believe it's like the complete opposite as well. I feel like the longer you take time off, the more you get hurt. I really do. I never believe in this rest thing. I mean, there is a good balance between rest and play, and I feel like Kawhi Leonard exceeds the rest more than the play.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's definitely, like I said, that's why Cal Ripken's record will never be broken, is because everyone needs a rest day here and there. And it's the case for all sports, but especially the NBA in general. Like I said, I saw The Last Dance last year, and Michael Jordan's like, I don't want to take a game off because people paid their hard-earned money to see me. Same with Kobe Bryant. That was when his Hall of Fame speech, when his widow was talking about him playing hurt or playing through pain, she's basically saying that he wanted to be there for that kid like Kobe, who saved up his money so that he could see Michael Jordan play against the 76ers. Kobe was the same way. Kobe Bryant's going to fight through the pain and play. Now you have all these sissy players that are taking rest whenever they get the chance to. And like I said, the league is so soft. The league is so soft. And that's why I'm watching Jean Claude Van Damme movies, because he's not soft.
Exactly. Yes. What movie are we going to review next week? I feel like we need to review a Jean Claude Van Damme movie next week.
Oh, what's the one where he's like being hunted by those people who hunt humans?
Oh, Hard Target.
Yeah.
Yes. Next week, folks, we will have a Hard Target review. It is a glorious movie. I actually, the first time I watched it was last year during quarantine, and I was just blown away. I'm like, why haven't I seen this movie yet? I feel so bad. I know, and I'm so glad I watched it. It really is going to be a glorious review, because I got a lot to talk about of that.
I'm going to have to try and find it to rewatch it. I'm sure I can re-find it somewhere. I mean, It's been a few years since I've seen it, but I mean, once again, a lot of fun. And so we'll talk about it next week here on the show. Hard Target review coming instead of all this NBA talk that we've been doing for the last few weeks.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? I got to talk about this too. I mean, it's just, and you wonder why fans are kind of sick of some of these players, and they're throwing junk on people. It really is a case. I mean, really, it's a case of, I think fans are really kind of sick of this player empowerment movement, where it's just like, oh, I'm the best, you're not, I mean, I really do feel like fans are just sick of this player empowerment movement for the NBA, and the owners really got to act quickly.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's so soft. Like, once again, Michael Jordan was getting crap thrown at him in Detroit all the time. And it was back in the day, Ron Artest will run up in the crowd and punch a fan.
See, that's what I want.
Years ago.
Yeah.
If he
I know, but that's the problem too.
Pop him, Ron Artest style.
When fans go a little too far, yes, but and it's just like, with all these star players changing teams like literally every 2-3 years, where they're just, if they don't win a championship in the first or second year, they're sick of it and want to go somewhere else. I'm like, you're not going to win a championship every year, guys. You're not. That's just the way it is in sports. Okay, there's 30 NBA teams, only one winner. Okay, you know what? There's gonna be 29 losers. There really is. You're not going to win it every year.
And it's like, it's not even about how can I make myself better? How can I take that next step to be a better player? It's who else can I surround myself with that's already an established star to win a championship. It doesn't matter what franchise it's with. It doesn't matter, like I said, if I get better or how I play. It's about, okay, let me pair up with 3 or 4 all-stars so that we have 4 super teams and a bunch of other mediocre teams.
Yeah, teams mix in between. Yeah, and I feel like the NBA should market the Nuggets in the same way, because it's a team that's been built through the draft. Made some
Right.
suave free agency move. They're not like a super team. I mean, in a way. I mean,
Right.
seriously, if you want to go away from this player empowerment movement, market Jokic, market the Nuggets as this team that like this team has done it right. They have built through the draft and blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah, and I swear to God, people would be like, "Oh, yeah, that's a way you should do it," instead of, "Oh, I'm sick of," or it's like, or like a James Harden situation. It's like, okay, I'm going to show up fat and out of shape, and yeah, trade me, please.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a ridiculous league. It's honestly like it feels like the Nets and the Lakers are like almost like the Yankees of the 2000s, where they just get all these superstars, and yeah, they should win it every year. Or like the Dodgers are now, like they have this super team assembled where they should win it every year. And once again, the Nuggets are almost like the Rays, or the Bucks are kind of like the Rays of like they somehow find a way to still be in the mix, even though once again you have all these superstars and all these all-stars on the other team.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you want to market the game the right way, market the right team.
Right, exactly. I mean, even the Suns to an extent with Chris Paul obviously coming on, like I mean that's let me add an all-star, let me add Kawhi Leonard like the Clippers did. Let me see how many all-stars I can stack on my team.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, they already had an established star with Devin Booker that they actually do draft and all that.
Right,
But
they
I
did
always
at
feel,
least do like their own guy.
right, yeah, yeah. It's not like, oh, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden all
Right,
going into
no,
Brooklyn or something like that as
no,
well.
it's
So
not
so
that.
there is like a minor exception with like the Suns and all that. But
Yeah,
I
the
feel like
Suns.
this is the everything that went right year for the Suns. It's just like COVID, everybody stayed healthy. Chris Paul is
Right,
playing at a good level. Everything's going right. I feel like the bottom is going to be the rug
right.
is going to be bottomed out on this team next year, and I think they'll be probably middling. Probably be in that 6, 7, 8 range as far as with the standings go next year.
They certainly might. And I mean, obviously, like I said, the Suns maybe not quite at that level, but like you said, the Nets and the Lakers basically just feel like the 2000 Yankees all over again.
Exactly. Yeah.
And everyone hated the 2000 Yankees.
Yeah. Everybody hated the 2000 Yankees. Yeah. Yeah. You cheered for the Red Sox, which doesn't happen today, but yeah.
Well, and then the Red Sox basically became that team too.
Yeah. The Red Sox has become that team. Yeah. Same with the Dodgers. They've kind of become that team as well.
Right. Exactly. Well, it's like, okay, well, we can't beat them legitimately, so we got to go out and get every big name guy. Let's get Mookie Betts. Let's get every guy we can on this team.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, their defense, they did draft a couple of those guys like Kershaw, I guess, and Bellinger.
Yeah, Kershaw, Bellinger. Yeah, and Turner as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Either way.
Have you been watching the Euros? Have you been watching Euros?
No.
2020 Euros, even though we're here in 2021, which makes really complete nonsense. I have no idea why they do it. Like
I don't watch soccer. I'll be
okay. I know because it's like, yeah, sometimes it is like the NBA. But yeah, I have a gripe with that as well. I mean, really, they're promoted as Euros 2020. I'm like, it's 2021. It's okay. You could just mention it was 2021 and mention to the people that it was a COVID year. Same with the Olympics. They're promoted as Tokyo 2020. I'm like, it's just like, come on. Like, okay, we're in the year 2021, people. It's okay. You can call it Euro or Tokyo 2021. I think people will look at it and with that and be like, oh yeah, that's right. We had COVID in 2020 and basically the entire world shut down.
Yeah, honestly, we should all be pretending that 2020 didn't happen anyway. So, I mean, I think that's,
exactly.
I don't think we should be doing referencing to anything in 2020.
Exactly. Yeah, we should have that. But I have a gripe though. Okay, so I was watching one of the games. It was between Austria and I believe Slovakia. And Austria, their flag colors are red and white. Like, yeah, I know there's a ton of teams that have with the colors of red and white. You have Turkey, Switzerland, Poland, England as well. Really, you have a lot of teams with the red and white. Okay, you know what their colors were for their uniforms?
What?
it was like aqua. I think it's like the color of the shirt I was wearing. I don't know if people could see it, but literally the color of the shirt I was wearing and black shorts. How
Wow.
does that happen? How does that happen? How are they not wearing wet red and white or something like that, or some form of red and white? It makes no sense whatsoever. It's completely different colors.
Maybe Latvia beat them to the red and white, because if you look at it, their flag is very similar to the Latvia flag.
Yeah, Latvia. Oh, you have Denmark too.
Denmark also has that same color scheme too.
Yeah, I mean it's just
Even
crazy.
Switzerland's similar in color schemes.
And it's just a
Oh, I
lot
don't
of
know.
like red and white, and it's just like, okay, I would, but it's just like, if you're playing the team with kind of the same colors, one team be red, one team be white. There you go. That's how we end it, or something like that. You have red top with the white shorts, and then white top with the red shorts. I mean, that would make a huge difference whatsoever. Why are you going with this aqua and black color when your flag colors aren't even that?
Well, I'm also still confused as to why the Nuggets wore red jerseys this year, because like red is barely a color for them too. So I mean, I don't know. Seems to be a
Yeah.
weird thing lately.
Oh, don't get me started on those City Edition jerseys. Those were terrible. They copied off the Jazz City Editions. Go Google that. But yeah, it's terrible. I never understood it. Like, Nike just presents these crazy colors and be like, here it is, and it's like, what? If I was like with the head of like the soccer commission, I'd be like, that's not our colors. Why are we aqua and black?
I mean, yeah, I mean it is definitely weird, especially when you're going for national pride to make your colors not your country colors. But
It's all about the national pride and all that. I think people are okay with like red and white, but like Wales, they're like red, white, and green as well. I mean, it's just, at least with France too. I mean, France used the blue, and then the blue for, because they're red, white, and blue for their flag as well. I mean, it really makes no sense.
it doesn't. And I'm gonna go back to your 2020 versus 2021 point. I think that the reason that they went 2020 is because they obviously already had the merchandise or signage made, and they didn't want to have to spend the money to remake it.
Yeah, that probably could be the case. Yeah, you want that Euro 2020 scarf or hat or jersey or T-shirt.
Exactly. They already printed them, so they don't want to have to like eat the cost of remaking them.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess they
You're a
don't.
merchandise, you know that.
Yeah, I kind of do. It's kind of those, oh yeah, duh moments. Like, oh yeah, duh. That makes a whole lot of sense. But
All this,
yeah, I mean,
all this Tokyo 2020 merch has just been sitting around in box for a year.
yeah, sitting around in boxes ready to be shipped out for the 2020 Olympics in 2021. It is going to be weird. Like, people, I feel like in like 100 years from now, people are going to be like, 20, what? Why are you promoting 2020? It was in 2021. What? And they're just going to be like confused as all be it, until some people are like, oh yeah, it was a 2020 with COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird, but what can you do?
Yeah, it's going to be marked down as, COVID year. We had a presidential election, and then the SP and Bushy show premiered in 2020.
Exactly.
Yes, those are the three things people are probably going to remember from 2020.
Exactly. Well, we certainly hope so on the last one.
Yes, we hope so as well. And again, a lot of these commercials is, and the NBA can't escape LeBron as well. I mean, LeBron gets eliminated. What happens? Boom, they're promoting the hell out of Space Jam 2. Yeah, get ready for Space Jam 2. So I saw a lot of Space Jam 2 commercials.
I can't wait for Monster to try and hit him and then he flops.
Oh man, how many flops are going to be in the game? Yeah, they're going to show how LeBron is such a tough person and all that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously, if that happened in a normal game, he'd be rolling around in pain.
Yeah,
he'd be rolling around.
I can't wait. The Monstars won't even have to hurt him. They won't have to do like the jump like they did on the Newman from Seinfeld. They'll just like swat at him and they'll pretend he's got hurt and have Bugs Bunny and Daffy carry him off the court.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan got whacked like behind the head. He fell down, but he got right back up. I mean,
he got hit a couple of times.
Yeah, he got hit a couple of times. I mean, there was obviously an illegal pick where a guy literally bear hugs. I mean, it really was a no holds barred wrestling match. Really, I guess Marvin Martian was Nick Patrick in disguise.
Actually, I mean, I guess it wasn't quite the worst referee game of all time when Jokic got ejected the other day, because Marvin the Martian just is the worst referee of all time, hands down.
Oh yeah, I guess he was the. I guess he was the. He was one of the official. Well, he would have let it play. So I guess you got to
Right? No,
kind of go that way.
absolutely. He would have
Yeah,
never ejected the Joker. He wouldn't have even called it. He wouldn't have even called a foul on him. You saw the stuff that people were getting away with in that thing. Like I
exactly.
said,
Yeah, I mean, if it was the refs and the D2, the Mighty Ducks, I mean, Jokic probably would have just gotten called for a foul. It would have just been a foul. Yeah, it was a foul.
Well, it depends on the referees. If we're talking about game one from D2 of the Mighty Ducks, and what side is he on? Because I mean, the Iceland guys were getting away with a lot of stuff versus Julie the Cat Gaffney, who barely touches someone and gets ran. So
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Deep
And that
Portman
was
does this to a ref, and then he gets ejected. I mean,
yeah.
apparently it was intent to injure, even though a guy on the Iceland team literally hacks some guy.
Yeah. But like I said, if we go back to that Space Jam game, I mean, Marvin the Martian is allowing people to just shoot other people in the teeth with guns. Like, I mean, there is nothing that wasn't allowed in that game.
Yeah, there's guns. There's literally, a dog pile on Newman. I mean, granted, it turned into a score for the Tube Squad, but still, yeah. I mean, it was a 5-player dog pile on him.
I mean,
as well.
Like I said, I mean, obviously, there's only 5 Monstars, and I think all of them would have fouled out in the first quarter under real rules. Like,
oh, they would have been ejected. If it was today's NBA, oh yeah, they would have been ejected. They would have gotten the flagrant too. They would.
I can't wait for the part of the movie where LeBron teaches the Looney Tunes players. They're like, okay, if any of the Monstars comes near you, you do one of these.
Yeah,
pretend you got hurt.
If it does, if it's like this, you go, oh. Oh, we will be excited. I think you and I, if it's in a theater, I think you and I we got to go together
and meet up
sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
Yes. We will sit and watch it together. We will have probably like an instant reaction video. And yeah, I'm very, to be honest, I'm actually very excited because I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't know what this game is going to be about, because it looks like a cross between like Ready Player One and like an NBA game. Like, it's really weird. Like, it doesn't look like an actual basketball game.
I mean,
the trailers.
I didn't see Ready Player One, so I'm very interested. I mean, obviously, I don't know where they're going with it, but it looks very different.
Do you know Scott Pilgrim?
I did see Scott Pilgrim.
That's what it feels like. It feels like a little like Scott Pilgrim versus the world kind of atmosphere mixed in with like basketball.
I mean, I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be interesting. Like I said, they've been very, very limited on releasing what the plot details are. So, I mean, I have no idea what it's about.
I mean, is it going to be the same as usual? Like, why are the Monstars going after the Looney Tunes this time?
I mean, I think it's got to be something different than the Monstars, though. It's got to be some sort of new entity.
No, it's the Monstars kids, invading.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be it. Yeah, the Monstars kids invading and all that. And they got different basketball players too, and they got WNBA players as well. So this is I'm very kind of curious. They did kind of like admit, like they showed like some of the players as well. So I mean, yeah, and they have, I think like Anthony Davis, I think is going to be one of the Monstars as well. So we could be seeing a lot of flopping in this Space Jam game.
Oh yeah. Well, the good news is whatever Monstars played by Anthony Davis, he'll, I'm sure, be injured by the third quarter and be out of that game.
Yeah, over trying to flop and he somehow injures himself. I mean, really, it's just karmic justice at its best. I mean, really, karma comes your way, comes in waves, man. Like, if you flop and you flop hard the way you do, yeah, you'll get injured.
Certainly do. Well, I mean, it's crazy. So,
yes.
Once again, it's like WWE. It's like, okay, if someone pretends to hit you, you flopped and act like you got hit really hard.
Oh yeah, you just flop, you take it easy, and you're like, oh, and you roll around in pain. You go like this. I don't remember what the game was. Like there was like a N64 game where it's just like if he injured a guy, he would always be like this, like he would just be wallowing around in pain, and he'd always be covering his head too. The guy could have like a foot injury and he'd still be waddling like this.
Exactly.
Every time there was an injury, a guy would just waddle like that.
Wow.
I'll just call that the N64 player injury.
We'll call it that. Absolutely. I like it.
Okay, so going back to the Euros as well. Okay,
Mhm.
obviously with the Euros and being probably like a European market, I'm seeing a lot of cologne commercials as well with it. Between breaks and between like the gameplay, between the games at like halftime and all that, and then during the studio shows as well. I've seen a lot of cologne commercials, and the cologne commercials are like the most confusing commercials to me. Like, what does this have to do with smelling good? Like, what is Johnny Depp literally going to like a desert outside of Las Vegas and just dumping all his jewelry and like something have to do with cologne? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, until they invent smell TV, you got to come up with creative ways to market. And so, I mean, like they can't have you smell the cologne through the TV. So they have to try and do something like that and get like a recognizable star doing whatever they're doing. And I mean, I get what they're trying to do. And plus the Johnny Depp drive into the Las Vegas desert evokes like the fear and loathing in Las Vegas memories. So maybe it's a reference to that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's this one. It's a Chanel one. There's this guy searching for this, I guess this girl or something like that, and it's a part of a figment of his imagination. And I'm going like, what does this have to do with cologne? Like, I mean, he's not even taking the cologne where it's like, and it has this figment of this imagination girl. At least I got to give Axe Body Spray a little bit of credit because they actually show people doing the product, and having the girls starting to come along with some of these other cologne commercials. It's just like, it's just, oh yeah, I'm going after this girl, but it turns out she's a figment of my imagination. And I just got wet in the swimming pool for no apparent reason. And here I am looking up in the stars while a Neil Diamond song is playing.
I said, I'm not mad at it. I mean, you talk about like there's that Progressive commercial about becoming your parents with that guy, with that like therapist to stop people from becoming their parents. And I think that guy's hilarious. But what does he have to do with selling insurance?
I don't know either, but I love those commercials. I enjoy them every time they come on. Are you slowly turning into your dad in a way? Yeah, are you slowly turning into your dad in some sort of a way?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, for sure. I mean, it's,
I don't know. If I start seeing you drive a limo, then I'll start worrying.
Oh yeah, I know that would be bad.
Yeah, then I'll start worrying. I'll be like, oh no, Sean's turning into his dad.
Yeah, it's definitely those mannerisms for sure. What about you?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to fight it, but embrace it at the same time. But yeah, I'm seeing some parts. I'm like, oh no.
See, I always felt like I knew your mom better than I knew your dad.
Yeah. I'm probably morphing more into her rather than my dad.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess they win because I was talking about it on the podcast. So you win cologne commercials. I won't buy your product, but I will talk about it. How it's confusing as albeit.
Hey man, like I said, they got to find creative ways when you can't smell the product through the TV. So you got to try and find some sort of way.
Right.
I'm going to tell you.
Right. COVID usually happened. Yeah. And COVID's happened too. So I don't think people remember, the smell of cologne. Yeah.
I'm sure the cologne sales took a hit because you couldn't spray it before you bought it.
Yeah. You couldn't spray it before you bought it and go, ooh, that actually smells pretty good. I mean, yeah, they must. Cologne sales are probably down.
Right. Tanking.
Really bad. Yeah. They're taking a hit like Bitcoin.
I'm sure. Let me tell you my favorite Euros memory.
Okay.
So this would be Euros. I'm guessing it'd probably be 2012.
Okay.
So like I'm at a beer festival and there's this game going on between Italy and England. And I mean, it's a big game. Right. And it goes to penalty kicks.
Okay.
And so I'm at a beer festival. And so everyone kind of stops and watches this game go to penalty kicks. And so because this game went to penalty kicks, there was no line for the beers. So I got to slam more beers at the beer festival because everyone else was watching Euros.
Okay. Oh,
That was my favorite
that's the
memory of
end.
the Euros. Not the game, but the fact that
Oh,
it
you get.
distracted everyone else for me to drink more beer.
Oh, I thought it was going to be probably sort of probably some pissed off Englishmen or something like that
Oh no, no,
throwing
no.
beers onto the ground after they lost in penalty kicks.
No, I don't remember who won the game. I don't care. I didn't watch the penalty kicks. I was drinking beer. Because, like I said, there was no line at all the booths. So it's like, okay, I could go get all the beers because everyone else was watching the penalty kicks.
I would like to do that sometime though. I would like to go to like a bar or something like that, and kind of or go to like a country bar or something like that. Like a Russia or an England or something like that, and just watch the game with people and all that, and just
I'm sure.
I kind of hope that they kind of lose, so you could just see misery. I mean, really, it gets in the way, and just see people just mad and just really upset about the loss or something like that.
I would be rooting for the team to win because then you're there for a better party.
Oh, yeah, it probably could be a better party as well. But actually,
win.
yeah, if we're talking about the equivalent of, like the Toronto Maple Leafs, I mean, it has to be the English like national soccer team, really. I mean, it's a team that hasn't won a World Cup since '68. So we're coming right around the same time with same with like the Maple Leafs as well. And just this generation and generation of just nothing but pain and humility right now as well. So yeah, with English soccer, yeah, they're kind of the equivalent right now of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I had one of my fraternity brothers who's actually my little brother in the fraternity. He was in Spain when Spain won the World Cup. And I mean, it was, I'm sure, just an insane experience.
Oh, I bet. That would be fun
that
too.
Would be
yeah.
A party.
Yeah, that would be a party. Yeah, being in like Italy or in Germany or in France. Maybe not so. Yeah, probably with France.
They'd just be drinking wine in France.
Yeah, yeah, wines and baguettes for everybody.
Exactly.
With a little escargot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a blast. I would be very excited. I'm glad I did not go to the U.S. Mexico match though. When they had the U.S. Mexico match a couple of weeks ago, I think that would have been not a fun experience whatsoever.
Nah.
Yeah, I know. It's just seeing a lot of like people just throwing crap on the field. I feel like there would have been, there would have been some fights as well. And we'd be cheering for USA as well. So yeah, it would have been a bad time.
I don't know that I'd even be cheering for USA because I remember I was at the bar for one of these World Cup games and like we were playing like Cameroon or some country that got up 2 goals on us pretty early. And I'm like, come on, Cameroon. I'm rooting for the underdog because frankly, I mean, I'll root for the USA in the Olympics, but like, I don't care at all about the World Cup. The World Cup to me is like, it's like if we're going back to like 1990s, like WCW references, it's not even like the WCW title or the US title. It's like the TV title. It's not like something that like I'm going to care about.
We're not striving for, yeah.
It's whatever. I'm a Disco Inferno in the 90s.
I'm a patriot. I'm a big nationalism guy. So, anytime USA is in, I'm going to be rooting for USA. I want USA to succeed as well. So,
now the women's team, I'll root for them all day. The women's team, fantastic.
Because they're good. If U.S. men's soccer was good, would you be cheering for them? You'd be like, yeah, U.S. women's
I'll still root
soccer.
For Cameroon. The U.S. has enough great things. I can let Cameroon have soccer.
Yeah. That's the thing. We let people have soccer. We're good in everything else. Yeah, our best players in like basketball, football, baseball. Yeah, we'll beat you guys there.
Swimming.
Anything else? Yeah, swimming. I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm very excited for the Olympics.
Gymnastics, Simone Biles.
Yeah, and this gymnastics team looks stacked right now, man, and it looks amazing. I'm very excited about that. And yeah, it looks like too. I think they're gonna have baseball too for the Olympics as well. So we'll have the return of baseball and softball. So hey, more baseball and softball.
And more goals for the U.S. baby.
More goals for the U.S.
I can let Cameroon or the Ivory Coast have soccer.
Oh, you don't want we don't want Djibouti to win though. We don't want Djibouti to win.
I want Djibouti to win. I want to hear the Djibouti national anthem.
It's Juveniles back that ass up. That's what it is. That's what it is. No, I think we may have to play that. I may have to play that with you. When the Olympics come along. I mean, real country or fake country.
Oh, that wouldn't work. I'm too good at geography. I don't think that would work.
Oh yeah,
Maybe I'll
that's
do
right.
it for you though.
Yeah, maybe you do it for me. Yeah, for me. Yeah, you'd be like, oh. Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about like the Euros and like the Olympics. It's like, what are these? I'm like, that's a country? Like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's like a country called North Macedonia or Macedonia, and it's just like, that's a country? Oh, okay. Got it Googled where they're at. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's north of Greece. I'm like, oh, okay. Good for them. Good for them for being a country.
Half the people probably think it's one of those LARP countries from like Role Models or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does feel like one of those like fake, Dungeons and Dragons countries. Yeah, it does feel like that. It's and we go north of North Macedonia, Macedonia or something. I can't even get the country right. That's how bad I am.
It's Macedonia.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, here we are on the travels of North Macedonia. I like it.
It's hilarious. Awesome. I mean, obviously, you got the Euros going on. We've still got the Stanley Cup playoffs going on. I mean, there's still okay times in sports. We also got the MLB All-Star Game coming up in a few weeks. Bushy, you working it?
I'm working it. I'm very excited. I get to cross something off the bucket list, so I'm very excited for that. I don't think I can do updates as far as with that because I would be working, but I would love to. I think it would be cool to give some updates as well. I'd be like, hey, this is a pretty cool thing, being at the All-Star game. It really is fun. I'm very excited. I've heard a lot of tickets have been sold for the Futures game and the celebrity softball game. So Colorado is really embracing the All-Star game right now. So I'm very excited about that. And people seem to be stoked more for the home run derby rather than the actual game. That's what I've gotten from most people.
I mean, if tickets are I'll have to look at the tickets for both that and maybe the celebrity All-Star softball game. It's always a fun one.
Yeah, it's always a fun one. It's
Mary Walker's in that.
Yeah, the return. Yeah, they better play Crazy Train. If not, the crowd's gonna boo. You're gonna lose all your fans. Just have people. Yeah, just have them say Larry Walker and they play Crazy Train. People will go nuts.
They're gonna do it.
They're gonna do it. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna do it. I mean, I don't know any of these. I'm looking at the lineup right now. I guess they have Quavo, who's from Migos, some JoJo Siwa. I don't know who that is. Steve Aoki, I've heard of.
I like the music of Steve Aoki.
Yeah. I think the Miz tore an ACL, so he might be out. They have some other social media guy named Noah Beck that I've never heard of. Some guy from Riverdale. Residente, he's a Puerto Rican rapper. Don't know him. Blake Gray. So I guess they're just getting these social media stars now. So
yeah, you got Kane Brown, country.
Your boy Kane Brown.
DK Metcalf. I'm kind of
Metcalf.
Yeah,
Derek White. He's a former UCCS guy.
Yeah, former UCCS CU player as well. So those are Colorado connection. You have CC Sabathia, who's actually lost a lot of weight. So yeah, we get the skinnier. Obviously, Jenny Finch.
Right, of course.
Betty Finch. We have Hunter Pence. Ooh.
Hunter Pence. There you go.
Hunter Pence. Yeah. Was always was with the Giants, but I always kind of respected him as well. Played for the Houston Astros as well. Back when they stunk.
I think he was with the Rangers too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, he had a cup of coffee with them. So yeah, and I'm Larry Walker and Vinny Castilla, obviously the two slam dunks with the Rockies. I would have loved to see, maybe Andres Galarraga as well and Dante just bring back the old Blake Street Bombers. I think people would have loved that.
Well, I wonder who's going to be the injury replacement for the Miz, because I think I think he's got a torn ACL. So I think someone's got to fill in for him.
Okay, so we need a WWE star, who's semi big but not the top big, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you get like Maybe you get like John Cena or something to do it and help promote Fast 9 or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's next week. Oh yeah. That's next week too. Ooh, dude. 2021 is already better than 2020, man. I'm so excited for Fast
Oh, yeah.
9. And yeah, you will see my in-depth review not next week, but the following week. I will talk about it, and I will be just glorious.
All right. I will take your word on whatever you say because I'm not a Fast and Furious guy.
Oh no worries. It's okay. I know it's not for everybody, but we thought about renting out a theater with like a couple of friends or something like that. But I feel like that plan may have fallen through, but it still could happen. I would love an empty theater. That way we can laugh and we can joke about it.
I mean, I went to the theater a few weeks ago, and that was nice actually being once again there like it was with the Rocky Stadium. It was like nice actually being around other people and finally having like another step back towards normalcy.
Nice. What movie did you see?
We went and saw Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Okay, how was that?
I enjoyed it, but I like the Saw movies, so I know that once again that's not everybody's cup of tea either. But
Yeah, so it's a give and take. Yeah, you like the
that's
Saw
right.
movies. I don't. I like the Fast movies. You don't. But we do have a common medium, and that is Jean Claude Van Damme. So,
Jean Claude Van Damme movies, absolutely.
yes,
And also, I
it
gotta
is so
say,
good.
there was one part about being at the Rockies game that I forgot and I disliked, and that was the really loudmouth, like drunk San Diego Padres lady behind me. And I'm like, I forgot how annoying that opposing fans could be, and they're in your stadium.
Now that the Padres are good now, I mean, Padre fans are coming out of the woodwork. I mean, it's crazy. Like the 4 or 5 year evolution I have seen. Really, I mean, Padres games. Really, when I first started working there, I started working there in 2017. Really, I mean, it was one of those. I swear to God, if you saw a Padres fan, you're like, what are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And now it just seems like they have them. They're out in full force. Now that they're good now. So yeah, it's the bandwagon team of the week or of the year now. As far as with them. So. Yeah, and yes, but it's crazy. But I don't like it that they're back to the brown and yellow uniforms of the 70s. They sucked then in the 70s. Really, I mean, really, the only people that liked it are 70s people with these rose tinted nostalgia glasses that thought, "Oh, these are great jerseys." They weren't. They sucked then, and they suck now. I wish they go back to the 90s one. Yes, I got my 90s rose tinted nostalgia glasses. They should have that old Padres 90s logo with the orange and blue.
Yeah, but I mean, it really is. Brown and yellow is kind of gross. That's why the Broncos had a bonfire for their original brown and yellow jerseys.
Exactly. Yes. And they brought it back for one season because of the AFL and never again. They never brought them back.
Right. And once again, they were torched.
Yeah, they were torched. Yes, they were torched for good luck as well. I mean, I still have the socks though, so
yeah,
I still have the socks. They're actually very nice for like a cold day when it's like a cold Broncos game. I will wear them.
I'm gonna go back to this Padres lady just for a second because she was dumb, drunk, loud, like super loud, super obnoxious. And it's the ninth inning, and the Rockies are up 3-0 because Austin Gomber, my new favorite Rocky, threw 8 scoreless innings. And so she's like, "Come on, Padres!" And then after they get the first guy on base, she's like, "All right, home run ties it up." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't." And sure enough, he does hit a home run. But
it's a 3-2 game.
Yeah. And I'm like, so not only is she annoying and a loudmouth, but she was bad at math too.
Yeah. They think, home run wins it, right? Or it's Rocky.
Going, come on, Machado, and he strikes out to end the game.
Yes.
No, he may have grounded out.
Actually, popped up. He popped up.
Oh yeah, you're right. He popped up to second base.
Yes.
Either way, he's out.
Either way, he's out. Yeah. It was great. That makes me laugh just thinking about that. Yeah, because really, I feel like that 146, that 145 to like 147. I mean, I feel like that's probably like the rowdiest sections as far as inside the stadium. Really, I mean, it just feels like there's like the most annoying fans, and those are the people that always start a wave. They always start a wave. They start a wave seriously during the first start of the season. They were starting the wave in the second inning. I'm like, guys, wait for the wave. The wave should not happen until probably like the bottom of the sixth on. Okay, that's the only time you're permitted to do a wave. Anything else, no. These should be banned. You should be arrested. You should be banned from the stadium for that.
You know what? I agree wholeheartedly with that. I was going to say the same thing. You can go bottom of the sixth on. Because, I mean, I think that's something that really hasn't been talked about is what is the conditions for a wave? And I think I agree. Bottom of the sixth on or anything before that, and then it just seems silly.
Yeah, it just seems silly. Yeah, because then you always have the drunk guy going, let's do it, guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
And then his two buddies do it with him, and then no one else jumps in, or maybe
no one else does it. Yeah,
then he keeps trying to get section to help out, and that's it.
Yeah, he gets half of the section. It was funny, actually. So somebody did have a wave going yesterday, and it's funny because the wave happened when the Rockies are at bat, and there was a lot of cheering, and I thought it was because of the wave, and I actually looked up on the TV. No, somebody from the Rockies hit a double. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it wasn't because of the cheering of the wave, because it was just like a loud cheer for the wave, and then and then it was just like even more cheering, and I looked up at the TV and I was like, oh, somebody from the Rockies hit a double. So yeah, but it happened, I believe, in like the 4th or 5th inning too. So it was just like, come on, people. That's why bottom of the 6th on, that's the only time you're allowed to permit a wave.
Yeah, that's premature wavulation.
Yes. That's what it is. There's always those people.
I agree. No waves before the 6th.
No waves before the 6th, and then
unless it's a 7-inning game, and then I'll let you get away with it in the 5th.
Yes. Maybe bottom of the 4th, but you're really stretching it at that point. Yeah. I believe 5th inning on.
5th inning, 7-inning game.
Yeah, 5th inning for a 7-inning game. Yeah, you can start the wave then.
It's the best I can allow you.
Yeah. We're the Pawn Stars meme. You know, best we can do is the 5th inning for the wave. For a 7-inning game.
Yeah. Can't go lower. I'm sorry.
No, we cannot. Oh, geez.
All right, man. Yeah, like I said, I think that's all that was on my mind this week. Do you have anything left?
That's it, man. I got everything off my chest.
Excellent. Well, then we will join you next week when we talk about Hard Target, give our Hard Target review. I can't wait for that. And then who knows what else is going to happen in sports. I'm sure LeBron James will complain about, one other person getting hurt, about someone spraining a toe or something. We'll talk about that too.
Yes, we will. Hopefully the injury free, we could, I don't know. I'm still a little mad about the NHL playoffs. So maybe another week for me.
Yeah.
On the NHL playoffs.
Hopefully by then, maybe we'll get a Lightning Islanders game 7 that maybe we'll talk about next week.
Yeah, we could get that. Yeah. Or we could be talking about Montreal, maybe having a 3-2 lead against Vegas.
Montreal's going to get swept. I'm calling it right now.
Okay. Yep.
In any event, we thank you for watching this episode. We hope you'll go back and check out all of our other episodes. Follow us on Twitter at SB Bushy to see all of Bushy's hot takes about Euro 2020 and anything else that comes to our minds throughout the week. Once again, thank you for watching and have a great night.
All right. Thank you. Peace.